Thank you for having me. Thank you guys all for coming out tonight.
Yeah. I want to get right into it. Now tonight, you've done a lot of press around this Insecure. We've talked a lot about it, but I don't think we ever really heard you talk about the music.
Yeah,
within the
that's something
series.
I've always wanted to talk about too.
Okay, so can we get into that tonight?
Yes.
Okay,
that's why I'm
let's do
here.
it. What I want to know is, in your real life, what's some of the music that you listen to that just gets you through?
Man, I love a lot of old school music, from the 60s and 70s. Like, that's what I grew up on just because of, my mom being big on that in the house. And then that developed into just in, of course, middle school, just 90s music and cliques like Bad Boy, No Limit, the Missy and Timbaland clique, Cash Money, ultimately, and then it kind of just now is a blend of just sophisticated action music. Like, I love music that's misogynistic, that I'm not supposed to support, but it just has a great beat. And I also just love the resurgence of, soulful R&B music that's like the Xavier Omars and Daniel Caesars that are coming out, and just reclaiming love, because I feel like love kind of fell out of style, and that's what I love about the 60s and 70s. Guys were just putting their everything on the line. Like, one of my favorite lines in a song ever is, "My love must be a kind of blind love, because I can't see anyone but you." If a nigga said that to me today, you can't see nobody but me. Thank you. You could get it.
Shoot y'all shot. Now look, y'all just got the cheat code, man. Who won it?
Come up with your own line, but that's great.
Something similar. There's a lot of heartbreak and Insecure, gut-wrenching moments, that I think we all can relate to. I feel like everybody has that one, when they go do a breakup, they have that one song that they just put on repeat for 20 times and just torture themselves. Mine's is Faded Pictures by Case and Joe. But so I set it off, and yours is?
I have two. I have Valediction by Foreign Exchange. That one is one that I put on repeat. It's so, just the intro just makes me want to break up with someone. It makes me want to suffer. And the other one is Lions, Tigers, and Bears by Jasmine Sullivan. That one is just so good.
You also look like a bust your windows type of girl when you want to be too.
That was my roommate. My roommate broke up with her boyfriend and played that all weekend. So she got that, and I got Lions and Tigers.
I get it though. Now it's great songs. When it comes to Insecure, man, I remember going back to season 1. Now season 2 finale is this Sunday, by the way.
Yes.
All right.
Excited.
If I go back to season 1, I remember season 1. You guys set such a tone opening with Kendrick Lamar, All Right. And as soon as we see the scenes and we hear that song, it's like, okay, we know what type of show we're going to get. This for us.
Shout out to our editor, Mark, who's amazing. He placed it initially in the first episode just to show us the first draft of the pilot. And so, it was perfect. It set the tone perfectly. But I was like, by the time the show come out, me and Melina were like, this is going to be old. So let's find something else that fits, better. Maybe we get a female artist who's from LA and we open it that way. And then we tried a bunch of different other songs. And like at the last minute, when we saw the rough sound mix, I was like, y'all gonna kill me and it's gonna cost extra money, but can we please switch it back to All Right? Because it just felt, it's Kendrick, we're opening up the show, he's from LA. It really encompassed the theme of the show, of these two girls who have each other, who are just like, look, whatever happens, we're gonna be all right. And so it just, we couldn't fight that.
You starting with Kendrick Lamar, you setting the bar so high, and you guys follow through every week. Talk about the process, the collaboration with you and your team as to how you come upon these songs and decide these songs that's going to fit these scenes.
Yeah, so it's an amazing collaborative process. We're super lucky to be able to work with Kier, who's here today, who's our music supervisor, and just having him on board has really just helped to escalate the process, because he's just really on it. And so me, Melina, and Prentice are really hands-on just in terms of choosing the music, and then he's great about like knowing our sound and what we want and pitching us different songs and being like, well, have y'all heard this one? Have y'all heard this one? And it's just like this season was so hard because we had so many great songs to choose from, and wanted to fit in new artists, but it was just a matter of like, oh, this doesn't fit this particular mood, or this doesn't, this just isn't the right scene for it. But it's just a lot of talking. Like I think during the edit process, Melina, whenever she has an episode, whenever she directs an episode, she'll always be like, you gotta give me my music pass though. I need a day to just do the music, and you're gonna reject them all, but just, I'ma do it. And I'm like, okay, girl, it's not that serious, but it is that serious. And when I watch a cut, I automatically hate it. And it has nothing to do with the edit, it has nothing to do, it's always like either me and the music, and that's, if the music isn't right, then I can't even watch the show objectively. I feel like there's a tone that has to be set, and music can make or break a scene. And so I won't like an episode until we select the right tracks.
It's so very important. You laugh and joke, it ain't that serious, but it is serious. Because I think when we watch it at home, it really feels like the music is a separate conversation that's happening with the undercurrent of the episode, and it's an ongoing conversation, and it's living and breathing. When I want to give you an example in season 2, one Friday, Miguel decides to bless us with the new single, right, Skywalker, and it's not often as music fans, y'all could clap a little. I said Miguel, he made it dawn. Some of y'all out here, some of y'all parents out here, like, y'all kids was made to adorn. Y'all gotta give it up for 'em. Let's keep it straight. So on a Friday we get Miguel, and that's great, right? And we're like, oh man, we got this great new Miguel song. And then that Sunday, it's in the episode, and it's like, how did that happen?
Shout out to Kier again, who presented it to us. I was trying to get Miguel on I've been a Miguel fan. He's one of my music bays. There's Frank, there's Donald Glover. Childish Gambino, and it used to be Chris Brown, but he's just on some fuck shit right now, which is so unfortunate. But anyway, we wanted to get Miguel first season. He was supposed to be the Ty Dolla $ign, and I love Ty Dolla $ign too, but that was the original. And Miguel, wants to be an actor. I don't know if his label was just like, hey, we're interested. If they gave it to everybody, who cares? It was just great to be able to have that, and it was just our editor put it in the perfect scene.
But I feel like we talk so much. I know Kier is here. Is Kier around?
Yes.
I feel like we should bring him up, man. Can we get a mic for Kier? Because I feel like he's a part of this process. We got a chair for him, too. He got his own bottles. Kier is popping right now. Kier Lehman. Can we give him a real introduction, please? A real... That's what I'm saying, man. This is Brooklyn.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Kier, I want to know what them battles is like, what them fights is like. Say Issa really likes the song. You don't really feel like it fits. What's the worst argument y'all had over music? We gonna get right into the dirt right away.
Well, it's all Issa, so it's like if Issa likes a song, then it's going in the show. But the good, well, I would say the good,
Melina fight.
The battles is with Melina, really. And Melina, like Issa will love something and be like, oh yeah, I like this one. And Melina will come in the meeting and be like, you sure? You like that?
Trash?
You love that one?
Right.
Better than the other thing? And then I'm like, come on, just let it go. Like, then I'm gonna have to go and find 5 other things to replace it with, and it's not easy, as you can imagine, to find the right thing or replace something that people already like. So that's kind of how it goes down.
What's the one song that gave you the most fits?
God, what was tough this season?
The one that didn't make the cut. You don't want to talk about that?
No, we can talk
Flying
about
Lotus,
it. Yeah, I mean, that was
that
the
was
tough one. We had
devastating.
this amazing Flying Lotus, Anderson .Paak, Thundercat song that you guys may hear someday if they can figure their shit out. But But they gave it to us and were like, here's the song. We want you to put it in the show. Like, it's going to be on Flying Lotus's album. And I was so excited. I sent it to them. We were all so excited about it. Put it in the episode. And I went to go clear and get the rights to it. And they came back saying that there was a deal that they couldn't make happen for one of the artists, and that track, so we couldn't have it for the show, and they can't even put it out on their album, and it became a whole drama. And but I don't mind like airing it out.
Right. Now we might might force their hand.
Exactly.
Now tonight at midnight we're getting the season 2 soundtrack for Insecure, right? Y'all seen that track? Look at that track listening, boy.
That's a lot.
Oh, that's dope. What's the relationship to this soundtrack and the actual music that played during the season?
Well, I think, there are obviously like songs that were important to us, and if we felt like were real moments in the show, or songs that we just felt really strongly about. And I think, all the songs in the show we love. So, that's definitely the criteria that we all have to really like it. And so, we work with RCA, of course, to put it together. And of course, so, we feature a lot of their artists. But then there was others that we just felt really strongly that we wanted to include and have, really connected with the show. And then, of course, there's the business side of licensing and who approves and who doesn't approve and who has a record coming out at the same time so they don't want it on our record and all that kind of stuff. But it's just songs that we're passionate about.
The dark side. It's funny, though, but through all of, I think, the politics, because it is a business, right? You guys understand that, right? Through the business of all of it, you guys still put out something that feels, again, really organic and really good. It's like almost if you jump over all of that. Like, as fans, we don't see that. We just hear dope music week in and week out.
I mean, that's just a testament to the artists too, because some of them are passionate about working with us, and we get a lot of submissions now, and that's another blessing. Like, you called that. You're like, it's gonna be way easier to get music for the second season, and people give us discounts because sometimes money is we have a budget obviously per episode for the amount of songs that we can use. And so that makes a huge difference. There were some songs where it was like, oh no, we can't use that. No matter how dope it is, like it costs $50,000, $40,000, and that's, most of our music budget. So we're conscious of that, and that's also why we're also able to, work with and find indie artists and pay them a little bit more than they might get on other shows. So
awesome. One artist that, when I talk about that the show and the music around it feels like this living and breathing conversation. This feels like the stars aligned, but season 2 debuts, and around the same time, SZA is releasing Control. I mean, you guys, first of all, had a love fest on Twitter. It was amazing to watch it unfold. Can we see those tweets? Yeah, right? What is it do you think about? I mean, because this is your art, right? Like Insecure is your art, yeah. Control is SZA's art, and it's kind of hitting at the same time. What do you attribute that to? You guys are like kindred spirits.
The universe. You know what's crazy is that when Raphael Sadiq is our music composer, and when he was asking just about the sound of the show, like, in terms of composing, what artists do you like? And this is season 1 before Control dropped, but I was a fan of her music and just her sound and the production. And so I told him I was like, I'd love like a SZA type sound just to influence the music that you do. And he was like, okay, bet. And so already in season 1, just the score that you're hearing has, some elements of just her production. And then I feel like this album is just so her, been listening to her other songs in the past, I felt like, I love the music, but I didn't really know her, and it felt like I know her from this album. And so, Kier sent us we had advanced tracks, we had Supermodel, and of course Love Galore, I think was already out, or it wasn't out yet.
It hadn't come out yet, but it came out like right before.
Yeah, and so Supermodel I just took to, immediately and was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect to end. And that was another almost me and Melina fight. I was like, I don't care, nope, this fits. So, and then the best moment is when either of us, for both of us, because sometimes I'll be like, okay, girl, you were right. And then like a week later, she was like, okay, it's growing on me. I like it. And so just her themes in the album and ended up, because the album came out obviously after we had already placed the song, and I was kind of salty. I was like, oh, everybody's gonna know about the song already. But when the entire album came out, I was floored because there were so many songs that just fit the themes that we explored throughout the seasons. I just felt like it was just universal synergy, and I just love what she's saying so much, and it's a testament to, I guess, a generational thing.
Do you feel like some of the things that SZA is saying in the music kind of feels like it could come out of Issa's mouth? Issa, the character in the show, like
Issa's mouth, Molly's mouth. So many people just giving Molly's storyline were like, you should have used SZA's The Weeknd because that bitch is The Weeknd. And I was like, kind of on the nose, but you're right. We would have. So yeah, I just felt like, again, she's just speaking to so many women out here, and a lot of women who make bad decisions. So guilty, and she's honest about them. So it just feels really relatable.
Right.
Somebody said they made bad decisions too.
Oh, I mean, look, man, men make bad. Listen,
You don't got to tell us.
I used to be Lawrence Hive. I don't know if I'm Lawrence Hive anymore. It get harder each week. Even though this last episode, I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I stood up and applauded. I ain't gonna lie.
You applauded him calling Issa a hoe?
But you listen.
Whose mess is this?
You went. Listen, my wife is here too. You went at his depression. Like, you can't be like, I supported you at your depression and then throw it in your face. Like, the mental illness is real. Y'all were both wrong, but
They all need help.
I hope. What you think they're gonna work it out? No? Damn, y'all hearts just grew 3 sizes too small. Damn. But a lot of it is how the music connects to you and your character. But I want to get into Lawrence a little bit because the show is sexy, but there's an awkward sexiness to it, and I don't think no one's had more of an awkward sex scene than Lawrence. Now,
Someone tweeted they even had the white girl dancing like she was dancing in the shower, and I died. It was perfect.
Now, first of all, The Weeknd died for you.
Yeah.
Sexy song, right? Y'all might have changed everyone's perception of that song though with that scene. How did you go about matching The Weeknd with this awkward sex scene?
You know what's funny? We had it in the script, obviously written, you like The Weeknd, and then when we were shooting it, we had the Starboy song playing, and when Starboy was playing, it's too big, and Weeknd is already too big, and so in the back of my mind, I was like, we really got to commit to this? Like, we really have to play this? And so initially, we had it in, and I was just like, if we're gonna choose a Weeknd song, can we at least like choose something that hasn't been heard as much, or that fits the tone of the show? And so that was also a fight, and luckily the fight was won by money. Like, the Starboy ended up being too expensive, and I had placed the song initially because I liked the eerie feel of just like, something's about to happen. I'll die. Who's gonna die? Somebody gonna die. And it's just, it fits. And so it was like this sexy, eerie, like, should I be here vibe? And
definitely caught Get Out vibes.
It was Get Out vibe.
And it adds to the awkwardness of her dance because the song is so serious.
Yes.
And her dance is so awkward, and she's
Shout out
awkward.
to that actress.
So
She was
just
great.
Made it even better.
Can't make love to that song no more. And you had a scene with Eddie in episode 3. Again, I felt validated as a music fan. You guys scored this love scene with Jacquees. What was the whole reasoning behind getting Jacquees involved?
As soon as we scripted that scene, or even just broke the story, I remember I was just listening to music and came across the song, and I loved the old Avant song, and was like, oh, what is this? And just knew that however the scene turned out, that I would like this. It just felt like, oh, Issa's getting back into, she's feeling sexy, she's feeling like she's tackling this whole phase, and it just felt like the perfect whole phase song, like when he's just like, I just want to fuck, and that was her sentiment. So to have that playing in the background, and then I don't even think we knew that we were gonna end up filming something so awkward and so uncomfortable. It just worked out. So I guess it complemented the awkwardness of that sex scene.
Man, when I heard Teacher Moses, you better tell her. Y'all know about that Teacher Moses? That complex simplicity, a classic, man. Whose idea was that to include Teacher? That was so perfect.
We were so hyped. It was just, we were in the edit bay. I think that was in episode 2, and just excited. I mean, just trying to figure out like what that moment was, because I think another song was there before, and I was just scrolling through music, and me and Melina were like saying songs back and forth, and I was like, "What about Teacher Moses? You better tell her." Like that was, I remember being in college and just bumping that entire album and feeling like she was constantly underrated. And so she was like, "Bitch, Teacher, yes! Like we should do all school songs." And then we ended up playing it for Kier. He was like, "I'm so glad you guys put Teacher in there." So we just all like, we were all just very excited to kind of rediscover her. And, seeing tweets of people who hadn't heard of her initially discovering her music felt great, because it's such a classic album. And even, she's also one of those artists where so much of what she says and so much of what she writes reflects a generation of women.
Do you guys feel the power that you could take a song from years ago, right? The Complex Simplicity, maybe 10, maybe more, years ago, right? And introduce it, and for a lot of the audience, it feels new. Like you're educating your audience on music too. Kier, does that dawn on you when you're placing these music?
I think just like it definitely starts to when you see the response, and when you see what happens, not just like the fan response, but also like the music industry response. And it's like people give us their new songs, their unreleased music, and when we find a spot for it in the show, and I go back and tell them like, "Hey, we've found a spot for your song, give us the rights, all that," then I see that they're planning their release around the song airing in the show. So then you start to think like, oh wow, like this is something big. So for me, that's like the most rewarding part of what I get to do, is to like support artists like that and to expose them to new audiences, give them a little bit of money for the licensing, and they can jump off of that and really build their audience off of that.
Issa, are you getting the new artist harassment now? Are they just sending you SoundCloud links on Twitter?
No, thank God, no. Yeah,
that's my role. That's what I take all that.
I do direct people to Kier, but no, surprisingly, and now I'm gonna get them all. But I haven't gotten a lot of like SoundCloud links. I get a lot of read my scripts, and that's fine. But like even with her, we got her on the remix for, not the remix, the full song for Carrie's Top Down, and didn't even know that I just met her for the first time last week or a couple weeks ago at the RCA party, and didn't even know that she had been watching the show so long. So we just had a love fest of just like, big shoe bomb, no big shoe bomb. And that was just so fulfilling.
Who are some of the other new artists that you guys are excited about? And what kind of feedback have you gotten from them? Because I assume you get a lot of that now. Like, yo, I'm such a big fan of the show. Like, this is somebody's goal. Like, some people's goal is to get signed. And there's some artists right now in the studio like, yo, I'm making this song so I could be on season 3 Insecure.
I think, somebody who we really wanted to have this season that we didn't end up getting to have was Il Camille from LA. And she's just fantastic. And we've been fans of hers and tried to find a spot in the show, and it just didn't come together in the end, but she's fantastic and definitely like fits what we love. This is always a hard question because there's like so many names popping around, but
I mean, yeah, like Xavier Omar is another one who I love, who we didn't get to put his music in this season, but I don't know if you even submitted like new music to us, because it's also like we were trying to put songs in that people haven't heard as much before, and I feel like his album does have more access. I loved Uzi a lot. I just love what he stands for. But I'm like, oh, other shows are you like? I see even Ballers like uses a lot of the music that we may end up using or that we have our eye on. Like I remember we both had back-to-back Steve Lacy songs. Steve Lacy
We
songs.
did. We almost had the same song the same weekend, but we took it out from
Thank God.
episode 1.
Which one?
The party song, the song in the party scene.
Oh,
Was
the Playboy cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because that was the last song of Ballers that same weekend.
So we got to watch out for them.
Watch out for Ballers. Shout out Scott Venner.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is there a competition
That's your
between
homie?
you and Scott? That's the homie.
Scott and I used to work together.
Ooh.
Scott and I worked on Entourage for the first 3 seasons.
He's Lex Luthor, you're Superman.
So
I'm saying Dame Dash and Jay-Z used the word together too. So what you saying? What's the story behind Jasmine Sullivan and Bryson Tiller Insecure? That's an incredible story.
yeah, it's a good story actually.
Yeah.
They basically they did that for us without talking to us about it. Basically, shout out Tunji.
Shout out Tunji, yeah.
He came and was just like, "Hey, we made this song for you guys," and he sent it to me, and I loved it, but I was a little unsure about how on the nose it was, like having the chorus of the song be the name of the show, and so I didn't send it to Issa right away. I kind of wanted to like present it. And then we had a meeting with RCA, and I probably should have told her about it beforehand. So we had this meeting with RCA and all the executives and everybody's there, and they're like, yeah, we made this song for you. It's called Insecure, and they played it, and she loved it. And then I'm like looking dumb because I didn't tell her about it. But it's such a great song, and Issa loved it, Melina loved it, everybody loved it right away.
I just sent you, like, to even know that she was, because I knew that I wanted to end the first episode with Let It Burn to be able to clear that. And so to know that she was, like, actually watching the show and was on the pulse of it and thinking about it was just such an honor, because she's just an amazing vocalist.
And she did your favorite breakup song of all time. So
yeah, exactly. So it was like, Jasmine, we're best friends.
That's amazing. First season, we know you guys put Drake Easter eggs in the first season where you guys referenced Drake's lyrics. Did you guys know about this? Go back. See, now you gotta go back and watch season 1 and catch all the Drake references. And in season 2, there's a lot of Frank Ocean references scattered throughout. What's going on with Insecure and Frank Ocean? I know that's one of your music bays.
Yeah, he is one of my music bays. I think that's it. Drake is the music bay. I think meeting with Prentice, when we meet at a cabana before each season to just drink and talk about what we want to explore in the seasons. And before we even started talking about stories, I was like, yo, so in the first season, for myself, I just want to do Drake lyrics. I want people to just utter dialogue that are Drake lyrics, and because it's possible. And he was like, I mean, okay. But can we talk about the story now? And I was like, cool, but I just know that I want to do that. And it just ended up being fun. And some of the other writers got involved of just finding different places where we can put his lyrics as natural dialogue that the characters would say. And, one Drake fan, super fan, caught on to all of them and, made references, just broke down where they were in each episode. And so that was cool. And it was just I was like, he was Music Bay, number 1, and Music Bay number 2 is Frank Ocean. And I remember having it in the room and being like, y'all, so I know what I want to do. Season 2, Frank Ocean. And they were just like, I mean, okay, you pay us, so that's fine. But I was just really excited about that. I love him so much. And, we didn't say anything, and people just caught on to it. And that was exciting. So it's in every episode.
Well, it starts out in the first episode with the pillow, right?
The pillow is the reference. Just like in season 1, the reference there was a Drake reference of just black girls who went to college like Drake. And then the rest of the episodes, we had Drake lyrics. So that was our starting point.
So if you look, you got to go back season 2, watch episode 1, and Lauren Sachs is about the Frank Ocean pillow. That was on the couch, and it's no longer
She's a Frank
there.
Ocean case, phone case.
The Frank Ocean phone case, that's what it was.
Too. Yeah, both of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then you hear Frank Ocean lyrics throughout the entire season.
You do.
See, y'all got to go watch. See, that's the trick now. Now you're going to get us to go watch it. We're going to go watch it again anyway, but now we're going to go watch it and look out for Frank.
If you want to.
We want to, right? Right. Nah, that's genius, man. That's why you're up here. All All right. I gotta ask you now, these raps in season 2, a lot of bars, right? I want to know what the process is for these bars, Issa.
They're really just first draft trash raps. Like, that's just it. They come from the gut. Like, we just wanted this character to not be so good at what she does, but that's her pure way of expressing herself. It's something I took from Awkward Black Girl that I loved, and it was like, it's such a good device for a character who isn't typically honest with herself to have to be honest with herself in this mirror and just have these guttural flows. And yeah, so it's really just the first thing that comes to mind. That rap was actually co-written. There are 2 raps that are co-written, and the rest I just write off of the dome. And so that one was written by, co-written by Amy Aniobi, who wrote the 2nd episode. And then the Broken Pussy rap I actually co-wrote with Larry Wilmore.
The hit wreck, the viral sensation, Broken Pussy.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna throw Broken Pussy out there like it wasn't popular.
He was used with a dish tag, used like a dish rag, dumped with a hashtag. That's all him. Bars.
I was mad. We was trying to get you up here for Genius to break down every bar.
There wouldn't be much to break down.
So, I mean, the real question is that, and when you get the soundtrack, actually, the mirror raps are interludes on
Yes.
it. So you know, we get to hear those, we get to take those with us.
Yeah, that was something we were excited about putting on, because people asked for the first soundtrack that we did. It was just like, oh, where are the raps, you know? And I was like, oh, people want those, so we just decided to put them on for the 2nd season.
I'm waiting for the Issa Rae mixtape, man. What's going on?
Guys,
See?
I feel like Donald Glover ruined it for everybody. He's too good. You can't just come out the gate with trash raps.
Nah, he kicked in the door. You come out with some trash raps at the beginning, right? Nah, no disrespect to Donald, but Redbone. Like,
It's a classic.
classic. That's what I'm saying. Like,
where
this
was
is
the
where
trash?
it could go.
It took
Where
him a
was the
minute to
trash?
get there. He had to
We
get
don't
there.
know what he didn't release before he started. You know what I'm saying?
It was all fire.
What I'm saying is you could do Redbone. You could have the next Redbone, is what I'm saying.
Thank you for your faith.
Well, I want to thank you for coming through tonight.
Oh my gosh,
man.
thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
And Kier, can y'all give it up for Kier, please, Kier Lehman?
Thank you.
Can y'all give it up for Issa Rae like y'all mean it?
Thank you.
Good night.